Local stories, real conversations, and community impact. Welcome to Chamber Biz Talk, the podcast from the Kelso-Longview Chamber of Commerce, spotlighting the businesses, organizations, and people helping shape Cowlitz County. Now, here's your host, Seth McNally from the Kelso-Longview Chamber of Commerce. This is Chamber Biz Talk.
Welcome to Chamber Biz Talk, local focus, purpose, connection, community, and visibility. I am your host, Seth McNally with the Chamber.
I'm Pork Chop, also the morning show host over on Cookin' Country, and the Blitz. I do afternoons there at 101.5 FM.
Yeah, I'm just really glad. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're part of this. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
It is. It's gonna be a lot of fun because to be quite honest with you, I don't know a ton about what the chamber does in depth. I mean, broad knowledge of it, but not very deep. So this is going to be a learning experience for me as well.
Absolutely. And today, actually, it's funny they should say that. We're going to be talking about chamber all day today. So excited. Yeah, we're going to learn a lot of things. And we have a guest in the house today. We have CEO of the Chamber, Bonnie Delaney.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. So
We're going to teach you all sorts of stuff today.
So we're really excited you're here. And we just want to dive right into this. So tell us about what is a Chamber of Commerce? What do you guys do?
Well, I like to describe the chamber as the hub and the spoke of the community. So we deal with, of course, business. People expect that part. But then we also deal with our local municipalities. We deal with county and state regulatory. We deal with our local education and act as the bridge between their CTE programs and local industry and how they can align those. We spend a lot of time developing programs and initiatives that help drive business to the county and therefore drive business to our membership. The county as a whole, really. I mean, our goal is to be friends to all and foe to none and offer something for everybody in the community.
What's the history of the chamber? When did it all start? How did it become what it is today?
So the Longview Chamber started in 1923 and the Kelso Chamber started in 1924. And then in 1999, I think it was, they merged to get what we are today, which is the Kelso-Longview Chamber. I've been asked numerous times, how they decide Kelso before Longview. It's alphabetical. Yeah, so since the late 90s, we've been a combined force, and they really combined at the time to get synergies.
Right.
And they were competing against each other in the same space. And so why not just be one? So, yeah.
Have you found it easy to adapt with the times regarding technology, social norms, community outreach, things of this nature that becomes the fabric of what the community is as times change?
So I find that the businesses and the community as a whole move quicker than regulatory or municipality side of things. I think that's normal. I think when you're in private industry, you have to be adaptable and conform to what's going on quicker than municipalities. Or even on the regulatory side, it takes a little while for the regulatory to catch up to current demands. But for the most part, small businesses are super nimble and flexible. They have to be. Very rarely will you find a company that's 100 years old that's the exact same company it was when it started. Yeah. So, yeah.
Nice.
And what about you? Tell us about you. What's your background?
Me. I grew up in a family business. In fact, it's 90 years old today. Or 90 years old this year, I guess, 2026. Spent most of my career in small business, family-owned business ownership. In 2018, we sold our distribution arm of our company, and I went to work for that company and was part of their senior leadership team, grew that company from a little, $60 million a year company, a $350 million a year company, or 5 years. It was a ride. It was a ride. I always say it was fun ride, but it was a ride that you had to get off of because it was just a lot. My office was in Miami, so I traveled back and forth between my house in Rainier and Miami, and
That's rough.
Yeah.
Miami's a great place to be at November, December, and January, but a horrible place to be in July, August, and September. So just remember that. But yeah, so that was a crazy ride. I left that job in 2024, late 23, and did some consulting and project work and was fine there. I was having, I'd limited my hours to like 25 hours a week and trying to kind of recoup from the 100 hours a week for 5 years.
Yeah, it was a while. Yeah, they're on a toll.
It was wild. And then got recruited for the chamber position. So started in the chamber. Okay, here's my advice to anybody starting a new job. Do not start a job on April 1st. So it'll be 2 years on April 1st.
What were some of the challenges that you saw on a professional level that really excited you about working with the chamber?
Yeah, so the chamber was looking for somebody to come in and kind of move the chamber to its next chapter. And have experience in change management, which again, I just spent the last 5 years prior to coming to the chamber doing all these acquisitions, and each acquisition has its own set of challenges, and it's all about change management. So my background aligned really well with that. As far as challenges go, I think that the chamber was at a place where it needed to kind of pivot and what that was going to look like moving forward was a question left to be answered. And they were really looking for somebody that had another view to come in and say, okay, what could it be next?
Yeah.
The first thing I noticed, probably the very first thing from maybe the first week, was the exclusiveness of the chamber. The chamber was super friendly to members and people that were engaged with the chamber, but didn't feel very friendly to anybody who wasn't a chamber member. So we walked away from that really quickly. We're inclusive. You chamber member, no chamber member, we have something for everybody. And so that's probably been the biggest single change we've made. Everything else after that has kind of fallen in line with that. We're going to be inclusive. Fred's to all, foe to none.
Did you find it an easy change? And did you find that maybe new businesses or businesses that hadn't reached out, they started coming forward and explored opportunities with the chamber?
Yeah, so we've had good chamber growth from a membership standpoint, but I think if you're one of those people that liked the exclusiveness of it prior, it was tough. It's a tough change. But I think for the longevity of the chamber as a whole, that inclusive needed to be the driver instead of exclusive. But no harm, no foul, right? I mean, things change. And I think there was a time where exclusive actually brought more validity to the group as a whole. And it was just time to pivot to a toolbox kind of approach, which is what we're working on, is having a toolbox that has, again, something for everybody. You don't have to be a chamber member to utilize chamber resources. Now, the pay to play looks different, where chambers versus non-chambers, but we're really trying to. Yeah, I mean, again, the goal is for every business to be successful. That's the best thing for the community. We are community focused. And so every decision we really make, and I think Seth can probably attest to it, every decision we make is based around, is it good for the community? Is it good for our membership?
Yeah. And you can tell just by the events that the chamber gets behind here in Longview, Kelso, there's an obvious focus within the community that you guys portray, and it's great. I love the support you give back to the community.
Yeah, I mean, because we are a nonprofit, that's probably the biggest difference between working, private sector versus public or a nonprofit sector. We are not part of the city. We get that all the time. We are not a city entity. We are not city employees. We're a little nonprofit. And so the majority of what we do either funds, operating expenses or goes back into the communities.
And what have you seen so far? Like, what is the biggest growth that you've seen since you've taken over your?
I'd like to say membership, but membership probably isn't it. I mean, from a growth standpoint, probably community acceptance, going from exclusive to inclusive opened a lot of doors. We're invited a lot of places. People want us to be present. So that is probably, it's been 2 years. That's probably where most of it's been. And then some really behind the scenes stuff. We've developed systems and processes. There were a lot of SOP work. Even the rehab of the visitor center.
Which looks great.
I know, it does. It looks wonderful. But
If you haven't seen that, you should go over to the visitor center and check it out.
yeah, absolutely. It looks good. But all of that is in that trying to be more inclusive and inviting. And it all kind of runs together.
What about like the social media? Like, let's talk about that. Like, where is that at in your?
Yeah, so if we're talking growth from a non-tangible, it would be in our engagement in social and our engagement in our marketing aspects. We have new members that come to us now looking for help getting their name out into the community. And so we've done a really good job at growing our followers are up 25% in the last year. Engagements are way up, but we also have a full-time marketing professional that, the chamber hadn't, they just weren't structured that way before. So we put a lot of resources into that today. We feel like from a chamber standpoint, other than the offering in the toolbox that we offer for small businesses, that really are niches, we can take away the pain point of marketing and help develop that instead of having to outsource that. So that's one of the spaces we're trying to occupy when we go into membership.
Have you noticed businesses coming to you guys more often regarding social media involvement and visibility?
Yeah. And I mean, even since Seth has been on board, Seth started in October. We've seen this because now you've got me, Seth, and our third party all working in social and all doing campaigns. And so even in the last 4 or 5 months, our engagement has gone up substantially because we have now one more person working at it. But yeah, I mean, people are looking for a way to get their name out and to grow their business that isn't cost prohibitive.
Right. And one of those big things that we started was the Squatch Fest promos. So yeah, those are fun.
Yeah, there's about and you say that did all of that. You take no, it's funny you bring that up because I was going to mention the importance of creativity in social media posting, and those videos were great, and I love that.
And I thought and we kind of went to the table on that. Like, what can we do to bring some more visibility and fun to the chamber? And it happened to be right around the time you Squatch. So it was just like, we have our sponsors out there. Like, let's go out there and have fun and like just do some fun things to showcase them and to drive people to come to Squatch Fest. And I think it's been a success. I mean, we had some of our sponsors that loved them and they're excited for next year.
So yeah, and I mean, our sponsorship was up 17% over prior year with Squatch. And I think because of that, I think that as soon as Seth launched the video series, that we got this wave of requests on how do I get involved. Which is really what we're trying to create is some value, right? We're the chamber, some value in what it is we do, as well as help drive business to our.
Well, the chamber is a community network, so to speak, and social media is all about connecting, networking, building dialogue. And when you put engaging content on social media, it invites people to have dialogue with each other. And that's what the Sasquatch videos did, which, people are talking about it and having dialogue, and that's memorable. And it's great for membership opportunities within the chamber. So yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so it's fun, right? So the Squatch videos took off. And we got a lot of engagement on those. And now we're working on Pillars of Strength Crystal Apple. And we got the voting is active right now. And those are creating a community vibe. But it looks and feels completely different than what was going on with Squatch Fest. So it just goes to show you that there's multiple avenues, especially when you're using social, to get people to engage. And social is just that. It's social. It's not a place to sell product, and it's not a place to do anything other than get people to engage.
Right.
And I think we've gotten better at it. I mean, I think there's a lot to go. I mean, we got 6,000 followers in a county of 112,000, so we have a long ways to go. But we're seeing growth there and engagement.
Well, and this like the same principles that I used over at my prior work with nonprofit over at the Children's Museum is that we're all in this together, and we have to lift each other up and spotlight each other. And that's really what I am wanting to do with what I'm doing at the chamber is like we need to showcase everybody that's involved and in the community as a whole. And and I feel like that was the first step with Squatch Fest and the Squatch videos and all that kind of stuff, because now they are coming back to the table and they're wanting, well, what's the next thing? What are you guys going to do? So they're wanting us to top whatever it was. And I don't know. I don't know if we can top the Squatch videos, but I mean, like, it's definitely the momentum's there. And I think we can definitely, take on that need.
Yeah. And so one of our marching orders at the chamber is to put enough value back in their chamber membership that it pays for their membership. We want that every business that's engaged with the chamber to be at a net positive for whatever it is we bring them. And so the marketing aspect is just one piece of that.
Right. Now, does the membership include videos and things like that for companies that do that?
Yeah, it just depends on what level the particular decides to engage at. What we've really done is we've lowered the cost of our sponsorships that include a social aspect to them.
Yeah.
So for a couple $100, any business can get involved. And this jam was another chain.
Right. And it's important, as you saw with the Sasquatch videos, the engagement, and customers are looking for outside the box engagement, and more and more as time progresses and we move into the future, social media is the answer to a lot of marketing needs.
Yeah.
Well, and one of the things we're seeing in small business, all small businesses, and even large business, really everybody who's trying to run a business today, is I need to do more with less. And so when you get to that more or less environment, it's everybody's wearing multiple hats, or they're doing, more than a one-person job. And so here we are, the chamber, and all we have is value added. And so where can we take away some of that stress, or maybe those jobs that have been combined, and put them in an avenue that they need to be but don't have the time or ability to do today?
Right.
And marketing is one of those. It's like the first thing that gets cut in a company. It's like I can't tell anybody for if it's radio or TV or social, or the person that they were hiring, the third party that they had coming in, 10 hours a week and spending it at X. And so as we're in the middle of some tough economic times, we're trying to say, okay, well, hang on, we can help fill that space for you. We'll help make sure your name gets out there.
And I think with the membership aspect too, I think it's the personal, going in, checking on your members and things like that, seeing how things are going, constantly in communication with them if they need anything. It's just being that person there to support them at all times.
And again, our job is to solve a problem or solve a need. And so the toolbox, though we're talking about marketing right now, is richer than just marketing. So if you're a small business owner and you don't need any help in marketing, or, you're not looking at the need or the want to grow at the moment, but everybody takes some type of credit card. We have a credit card processing program that saves businesses, usually anywhere from 10 to 30% on their processing fees. So let's just say you're a guy out there and your business is fine and you're fully staffed, but hang on, I have this credit card processing over here that may save you enough money to warrant making the change. So again, we're just trying to develop the toolbox. So regardless of where you're at in your business, we have something of value.
Right. And with the community, as a business owner, especially a small business owner, you're looking for any opportunity to make things affordable and efficient. And with the chamber, operating with different tiers of sponsorships, it sounds like a great opportunity for any small business, really.
Yeah. And again, our goal is to help the community businesses grow.
Yep.
That's our goal. So everything it is we do is kind of tied around helping them grow or take away a pain point for them.
Yeah. And so kind of shifting a little bit here, can you tell us about the board? Like how does the board come into play with the chamber?
Oh, no, you told me I don't understand board. As Seth knows, I didn't have any nonprofit background before this job, though I sat on several boards in my prior career field. I've never managed a board, and it is its own thing. So our board currently has 22 members. 5 of them are non-voting. The rest of them are made up of large and small businesses in the community. We have everything from NORPAC on our board all the way down to our chamber photographer, Jerry Neiman. He runs a one-man photography and production company. So we try to make sure the board has a good representation of the community as a whole.
Yeah. And
it's just hard, by the way. Yeah, that's right. It takes a lot of time to recruit board members and get board members up to speed and share the vision of the board. And then there's the managing of the board. There's the reminder to the board that, hang on, I need your help, but I need your support, and I need you out in the community too. And then there's...
Now, do you manage the board in your role with the chamber?
Yeah, I mean, technically the board manages me. I work at a pleasure of a board. But yes, I mean, as the CEO, my job is to communicate and to keep the board informed. The board as a whole, their main objective is fiduciary responsibility, right? So I spent a lot of time providing financials and talking about the direction from a investment standpoint for the chamber. But that's just a portion of their job. They also, the executive board. So my board is split into 2 boards, the full board, which is all members, and then the executive board, which is a smaller group that is responsible for vision and direction and, the overall vision.
Right. And the board is awesome.
Oh yeah,
they're amazing.
I have a great. They're super supportive. I'm lucky to have them. The chamber was in kind of a weird transitional period. Nobody they had a permanent CEO in play for over a year, and they had an interim. And it's good to have an interim CEO, but what happens in any interim environment, not just at the chamber, there's kind of a stall. Everything, we just need to maintain the status quo until we figure out what's next. So it's tough to manage through that, and then to come in, then to hire somebody, right? There's all of that transition that has to happen again. You have the interim CEO that exits, and you have a CEO that comes in, and then you have staff that now has gone through the CEO that had been there, the interim, and a new one, and that's tough. I mean, there's a lot of inconsistency that happens in those environments. So
would you say there's a level of stability now?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was rocky there for probably a year. I don't want to say a full year, but yeah, I mean, it was, again, change management is a thing.
Yeah.
Like, people are afraid of change. People are threatened about what it is they don't know or don't understand. And here I am, I'm not from here, and I come in with a vision that looks a little and feels a little different than what had been there before. And, I have no straight crowd, right? Nobody knows who I am. And nobody cares what my background is. It's like, you're changing it. Yeah, I am. But that's what I was hired to do. I mean,
and the changes you implemented are going for future survival, so to speak, with the way, the economy goes.
it's not painful, right? mean, change is hard, and I don't care where you're on it. If you're, I always do, so my favorite change analogy is, the Kool-Aid. So when you're the one doing the change management, you're the one who's made the Kool-Aid. And your job is to serve the Kool-Aid. And you serve the Kool-Aid to 3 different groups. The group that are early adapters, they guzzle the Kool-Aid, they love the Kool-Aid, they're like on board for whatever reason, but they're like the early adapters. And then you have the other end of the spectrum, which are the people that are like, I'm not drinking Kool-Aid. I don't like Kool-Aid. You can take that Kool-Aid and dump it down the drain. I don't want anything to do with that Kool-Aid. All Kool-Aid is bad. And you're like, okay, probably never going to adapt, but you're still, you still serve it, right? You still want to serve it. And then you have all those people in the middle that are like, okay, sometimes I like Kool-Aid, sometimes I don't like Kool-Aid. Sometimes the Kool-Aid's good. This flavor of Kool-Aid isn't my favorite. And they'll like sip at the Kool-Aid, or they'll look at the Kool-Aid and say, no, I don't feel like Kool-Aid today. And
speaking of Kool-Aid, what's your guys' favorite Kool-Aid?
Grape.
Yeah, grape. I mean, yeah, it just brings back the glory days of childhood.
We weren't allowed to drink Kool-Aid.
Cherry's the best. Ooh, no.
Come on.
That's
cherries or cherry flavored was always the last to be used. So
we were not allowed to have Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid or soda was not allowed when I was a child. So I didn't, the only time I had Kool-Aid is when I was at somebody else's house.
Pixie sticks too, remember those?
Yeah.
We need Pixie Sticks endorsement. Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, we'll be all jacked up.
Do you like a good sugar infusion?
And then so the chamber also does another part too. They run the visitor center at Kelso-Longview, right?
Yeah. So a lot of people don't know that.
I don't know that.
Yeah. So our chamber office is really the visitor center, and we run that in conjunction with the city of Kelso and Cowlitz County. And I was able to leverage a little more grant dollars. So the chamber's funded through lodging and tax dollars that come from the city of Kelso and Cowlitz County. That's how we're funded. Though we're really the regional visitor center at this point because we're the only ones open now. Other than the Mount St. Helens Visitor Center, Spirit Lake Highway, Little Ways, across the street from Sequest. We're the only ones that are open.
Wow.
And so I think we need to be the county visitor center, but that's my opinion.
What's in it? Just like maps and like stories and...
Yeah, everything.
And
also a geocache location. Get a lot of geocachers in there.
Oh, and there's a huge squatch in there.
Yeah.
All right, well, so check it out. Let's check it out. Well, I love things like that. If what I've found coming from a bigger city, and I've lived in big cities, things like the Rotary, Lions Chamber, visitor centers, there's so much going on, you kind of lose focus into the small bits of what community is. That's what I love about living here in Longview, Kelso, is it's opened me up to a whole new world, and I love it. It's great. The fact that we do have a visitor center and you guys put effort into it and funding, it's marvelous. I'm definitely going to go check it out.
Yeah, we have our largest requested item is a local Longview map, because if you're not from here, it's really hard to get around. Take it from a girl.
Yeah, right. The roads, the way that it's set up, it's insane. It drives me crazy.
Yeah. It's hard. And then we produce a visitor's guide, and we give out a lot of those. In fact, a couple people came in. We end up with about, right now we're running about 6,000 people a year through the visitor center, but that's really just because Johnston Ridge is still closed. Norwell is 8 to 12,000 a year. So hopefully when Johnston Ridge gets open, they're saying 2027, that we'll see those numbers come back up. But it's got everything we've got. Then we take care of other areas. People will come in and say, I'm going to go up to the Olympic Forest. Do you have anything there? We're like, oh, sure. Or I have an extra day and I feel like going hiking. Do you have hiking trails? We're like, yes, we have a map of, Cowlitz County.
That's great. I love that. That's cool.
Yeah. So for a girl that's not from Cowlitz County, learning the visitor center was really the avenue to feeling like I'm now an expert in Cowlitz County. So that was cool. I mean, I pretty much had gone through all of the material in there. But we do stuff for Washington State Tourism produces a magazine that we keep in there, and they'll highlight regions in the state. And then we have Oregon produces one also, so we have that stuff, and we get stuff out of Portland that we put in there. And yeah, swells of stuff in there.
Yeah.
Are you surprised?
No, I love it. It's great. I like finding interesting things around town.
Probably the coolest thing I'm working on, I'm trying to put together a deal with Kelso and Longview CTE programs where the kids can sell their made items, if it's the wood shop or
That's great.
for the metal shop or whatever.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great news. I hope that. Do you think it'll have? I mean,
Yeah, I think I'm fairly confident it'll happen. It's really going to be, do I have enough time to pull it off before the end of the school year, which is really what I want to do. I want to get it up and running so that the summer months, which are the busiest in the visitor center, of course, the kids have the opportunity to sell that stuff. So
yeah, it's huge. Yay, visitor center. I'm in. I'm all in.
yeah, you should come by the geocache.
Or yeah, that intro.
What up every time
Real bad, man. Yeah.
geocache.
I need a new hobby.
There you go.
You know.
Well, geocache, you'd be surprised at how many there are, which is how, I mean, it's like we all ended up working together. I wasn't there when the geocache started, so I don't know what the history is, but there's a geocache down at Tamo, and then one at us, and then one up on the dike, and
People just come in and leave stuff there, and then
do it on an app.
I got to check that out. Yeah, you might like that. Actually, let's geocache. To be something to do.
Every once in a while, you'll find, so there's difficult located geocaches around the world. And my husband and I were up in the woods. We went up Clamor River Road and went in the back way. And we're on a Weyerhaeuser ground, and there was on one of the public roads that leads into Weyerhaeuser ground, and there was a geocache out there.
Well, I have plans after this. I'm going to go geocache.
Well, you got to stop by the chamber first, and I gotta get the app.
Start with you. There.
So, what's going on? Like, what's happening at the chamber at this time? Like, what do you?
We're busy, as you know.
Yeah.
Were you surprised at how busy the chamber is when you started?
Yeah. No, it's pretty busy. Yeah, it's busy.
We could probably use a whole nother person and still be too busy. So we're working on pillars right now. Voting's open for your favorite small business, or not even small business, your favorite business, and the Crystal Apple for your favorite educator. So that's open right now. And then on the 14th, we're doing a chamber luncheon that's going to feature a combination of our senators and our 19th and 20th district, as well as city council members from certain county municipalities. And we're going to talk about the legislative session that just ended. And there were some really big wins in Cowlitz County. I don't want to disclose here because I'd like people to come to the luncheon and support that. But it's open to members and non-members. And then
we have our networking lunch and learn.
Oh yeah,
that is next Tuesday.
Yes, next.
Cybersecurity and banking, online banking.
Yeah, how to keep your business safe. We're gonna open that session with a scary chamber story. And so and
Ghost stories.
yes, and it's not a good story. And that one's super affordable. That's $10 for members and $15 for non-members. And that series is going to run 9 months out of the year. So we'll run through this summer and be done in October is our last one, and then stop for the holiday season and then restart. So yeah, that's next week. I forgot that.
Yeah.
Now, why should someone get involved with the chamber now?
Well, I think if you're a business and you're you're looking at a way to, again, figure out how to alleviate some of those pain points, we're there to support. If you're a small business and you're seeing a decline in business and or suffering through the difficult economic times, that we offer not only some access to services that may be reduced than what you're currently paying, if it's credit card processing, if it's the ability, we can photocopy for people at a reduced rate. There's some behind the scenes stuff that we can do to help alleviate some of that. Or as simple as, I need to make sure people remember that I'm still here, then that whole marketing aspect is in play. If you're involved with another nonprofit, we have a nonprofit rate and we're doing a lot of marketing for other nonprofits. So that's, again, another way that we're servicing in the community. I missed anything?
No, I think you got it all.
And Seth's actually better at the sales part of it than I am. I think as I spend so much time, my job is really supposed to be behind the scenes and managing what's next for the chamber. If that's the next event, I spend a lot of time in logistics, spend a lot of time in financials, and then Seth does all the jibber jabber.
Yeah, your own.
Can't tell today because I do it all.
Yes, you have, yeah. Yeah, and and I think it's just a personal thing, right? It's just connecting with the community, connecting with the businesses, being there and checking in, seeing if they need anything. It's the personal connection, and I think that's one of the biggest impacts that we can do as a chamber is be there to support them.
Yeah, I think that's one of the areas that is easiest for me. My background's all business ownership, and I can absolutely go in and talk to an owner. And what people don't know that have never owned a business is it's really a lifestyle choice. You don't do it 8 to 5. It's really 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And what ends up happening is, though you have a lot of customers you really like, and you have, neighbors you really like, it's really hard to feel like you're a part of something because you're living a lifestyle and most people have a regular job. And business ownership is a lifestyle. And so business owner to business owners connect really well because they understand that. Where it's difficult at times. I found when I was in business ownership, it was difficult to have friends that weren't business owners because you got what do you mean you're working and it's, Saturday at 3:00 and it's like, what do you mean you can't make it? Or, it's just it's a lifestyle choice.
Have you found there's a good mix of nonprofit and business owners within membership of the chamber?
Yeah, I feel like it's a good mix. Obviously there's way more business owners than there are nonprofits, but on a percentage, we're probably meeting the population percentage, business versus nonprofits. So we all need each other.
Yeah.
Businesses thrive with nonprofits and nonprofits need businesses to help them advance their cause.
And a lot of the needs are the same. So
they're both running a business. I'll tell you from business ownership and then running a nonprofit. They're both running a business. It's just the business type is different. The mechanism and all of the stuff behind the scenes is exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yep. We all have to generate revenue.
Yeah.
We have to generate sales.
It's all about revenue.
It has to be because a nonprofit can't be productive without revenue. Yeah, people forget that. They're like, you don't need any money here in nonprofit. Well, yeah, I do. I still have rent and I still have lights. I want to get paid and I know Seth wants to get paid. And
yeah, and that's just business.
So I remind people that a lot.
Yeah.
This isn't volunteerism for us.
Yep.
This is a job. We're being paid to do a job and we have initiatives and goals and markers we need to hit, and it's a job. It's volunteerism. So we take it seriously and we want to make sure that we're a positive force in the community.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You have any other questions, Chop?
No, honestly, I've learned a lot, and I'm excited to move forward with the podcast.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's a growth right here in the community, understanding Longview, Kelso, Cowlitz County, and the area we live in. And I'm still a new, relatively, I've been here, it'll be 4 years in September. And look, it takes a decade or more to scratch the surface of a local community and really understand the fabric of it. So I'm really enjoying myself and time here in Cowlitz County.
So that's why I host the Chamber Radio Show,
Right.
because I've learned so much and I get a one-on-one experience with people.
Yeah.
I personally have difficulties in large crowds. So you get me in a large crowd, large networking event, and though I try to get around, I'm much better in a smaller group or in a super huge group, right? I'm standing in front of 1,000 people and doing a presentation, but again, it's that kind of intermediate connection area. So the radio, and this for you guys, I mean, for you, as you guys come forward with this, you get that kind of one-on-one and you get to learn more. And there isn't one radio show that I've done in the last year and a half that I haven't walked away going, oh, I didn't know that. So,
yeah. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm glad that you're doing this. Appreciate what the idea.
Yeah. And thank you. And speaking of our next episode, we'll be having Paulcom. Is that what it is? Paulcom. So it's Cooking Country, The Blitz, and K-Log, and Cowlitz Digital. And Pork Chop is, that's right, yeah. So is
John Paul coming on?
John Paul is coming on.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
We're going to have a conversation with him about what's going on at the radio station. And yeah.
John Paul's one of the first guys I met because he was on the hiring committee.
Oh, that's right. Isn't John Paul part of the board, right? Of the chamber?
So John Paul, he hit his maximum years of service. So he's on his year off right now. So right now, Wes Paul is feeling that Paulcom position now.
Okay.
And what DP decides to do with that next year will be up to him.
Okay. I think I remember hearing something about that. That's great.
Timed out.
And it's going to be a great conversation. Tune in for that. And we also, I don't know. Is there anything else that you want to say?
Outside of thank you guys for allowing me to sit in on what I think is going to be a very informative and entertaining little podcast. I'm looking forward to the rough start, right? Yeah, Irish episode. I think
I will not be on at the episode.
And we want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors, KLTV and Paulcom, for putting this all together for us and be a part of this podcast that we're trying to launch for the community. And so thanks for tuning in, and we appreciate it.
If you have questions about the chamber, visit our website, www.Kelso-Longview Chamber.org, or give us a call, 360-423-8400.
And don't forget Pillars of Strength and Crystal Apple Awards. Voting is open now, and you can go to our website to cast your vote today. And it closes next Friday, April 3rd.
Yep.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Chamber Biz Talk. A special thank you to our guests, community partners, and everyone helping make a difference across Cowlitz County. We'd also like to thank our sponsors, Paulcom Media and Marketing and KLTV, for helping support and power Chamber Biz Talk. Be sure to follow, subscribe, and stay connected for more conversations spotlighting the people, businesses, nonprofits, and organizations shaping our community. This has been Chamber Biz Talk with your host, Seth McNally from the Kelso-Longview Chamber of Commerce. We'll see you next time.